Hello, everyone. My name is Peter Pearson. I'm 24 years old. I play professional soccer for Oakland Roots out here in California. I'm a defensive midfielder, and if you want to go check out my interview, please go subscribe to my man's channel, Juan Rodas, Rodas, and I hope y'all enjoy. Take care.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Juan Rodas. Today we have midfielder from Oakland Roots, Peter Pearson, who's from the United States and also from Barbados. Peter, how are you today in Oakland?
Good, man. Good. It's nice. Appreciate you having me out here. I'm finally happy that we got to see each other and definitely have this talk.
Of course. Well, thank you so much, Peter, for taking your time out of your day doing this for my YouTube channel. And to start off, Peter, if you could tell us, how was your childhood, your upbringing in Virginia?
My upbringing in Virginia. I mean, grew up in a little rough area growing up. In my area called Virginia Beach. I mean, that's where I'm from originally, and really just grew up in a neighborhood. My neighborhood was particularly black. People play football, basketball. It was never really soccer, so I was like the odd one out. I was always in the streets playing with a soccer ball, and everybody looking at me like, "Yo, what's good with you?"
Yeah.
But so that was my calling pretty much, and kind of growing up with two older brothers, definitely I followed them around. They played soccer as well as other sports, but soccer was definitely the one that was more my liking. So grew up following them around, and then kind of joined a club team. A local one, Beach FC. That definitely brought me to, or made me the player I am today. And then it just kind of slowly took off from there, going into a private school in high school, middle school and high school, which also was big with soccer. And that kind of, it's predominantly white school, but it was just good for me with education because my, Caribbean family, they're all about education. So, did my thing there and, had the opportunity to play for a lot of decent teams, whether it was PDL to then going to college to two top schools called University of Virginia and Virginia Commonwealth University. And, had good years at both, but it was a little rough, so I had to make that transfer. And I'm glad I made that transfer because look at where I'm at today. So my dream finally came true, and hopefully I can be able to keep pursuing that,
Of course. And obviously, you just told us that as a little kid, you just like soccer. So other sports literally did not attract you, like you didn't try them at all, or was it literally just soccer?
No, I tried. I was one of those kids that tried everything, and I was pretty. Basketball was the first love, honestly, and then I just was like, nah, soccer's pretty dope, so I'm gonna stick with that. Yeah. But I played every sport, but again, soccer was more my liking, and I just like the style with it. Every team that I pretty much played for was very diverse, and that right there in itself just kind of changed my whole mindset of things. Like, oh, I like this diversity. You got a mix of everybody from different countries, different places. Demographics crazy, which is awesome to be a part of. So that's why I rock with soccer. And then just learning from, again, people from different countries and style. Kind of learn from that, and you're like, oh, let me take a little bit of that, and hopefully, so it was dope to play that for sure.
For sure. And then, have you always been a midfielder, or like growing up, or was it probably when you got to the collegiate level?
That's a good question. Because I initially started out as a forward, so that was pretty much, I was a forward, withdrawn forward, kind of like a 10. I was only attacking minded at the time, right? So I was like, oh, let me go at players, do it up, get myself in the right positions and score. And then, as soon as collegiate level, I guess college coaches saw that I could probably play this position and that they think I can make money in this position more, So I was like, all right, I'm whatever it takes to get to that next level. And they said, let's try you in defensive mid. And, and then it changed from me being more of a defensive player, and kind of like keeping it simple instead of being flashy and try to go for goals. Not saying I don't, still try, but so change that. And then honestly, after that, I figured out that was definitely, I feel comfortable in a position that I feel like I can succeed in. So, yeah.
Most definitely. Then obviously, when you were a little kid, was there someone in the sports industry or possibly a family member that you admired? I'm guessing there was.
Yeah. could I say like a favorite player that I guess sparked my interest?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At the time, Zidane.
Zizou.
Zidane was my man. Like, I mean, of course, I was really young. 1995 is when I was born. 1998 they won France and everything, and my brothers, again, being pretty much around like 10 teenagers, I liked what they liked, and it was always France at the time and Brazil, of course.
Yeah.
But definitely grew up with Zidane, one of the best midfielders in the world in my eyes.
Yeah.
I like the creativity and how he just plays the game and how he makes it just so simple. So that was definitely my spark.
So,
definitely played the game.
Could you say that you're a Real Madrid fan?
No,
Barcelona.
More Barcelona, but this is all right. So this is the crazy thing. I'm a United fan, even though it's been a very terrible, very few years, like a lot of years. But I honestly, man, I respect the way Barcelona plays, and I love watching them play. Grew up watching Man United, just the history and everything. But to be honest, I think everybody could agree, Barcelona, the way they play, just you really can't compete with that. To be honest, so.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but it's tough right now because Real Madrid obviously have been winning most games. Barcelona has been tying. Right now they were beating Villarreal, but we'll see who wins that league.
Don't say it's a tight one, bro. It's a tight one.
Exactly. And then obviously throughout your career, Peter, what has been the toughest moment in your career? Because us, the fans, we see you guys play for 90 minutes. We think you guys have nice cars, women, money, and everything. But obviously you guys are human beings just like us. But what has been the toughest moment in your career so far?
Toughest moment, man. Toughest moment. Well, of course, with sports there comes with a lot of stress on your body, with injuries, and I know that's every athlete pretty much talks about it, but that's honestly one of the toughest things to go through. Injuries. I've had my first year as a pro, which was last year, you becoming a rookie, you never want your first year to be injured, that's where you feel like you need to make your mark so you can be able to keep climbing the ladder. But I went through some things that mentally kind of at the point was trying to break me. And I think a lot of people don't realize that athletes go through that and mentally it messes you up, So, especially me being a rookie, trying to learn the ways of being a pro the right way. Definitely surrounding myself around the right people to help me keep that positive mindset to keep going. And I'm glad I did, but that was the toughest thing because you're thinking like, wow, I'm a rookie just getting injured. Dude, am I still going to be able to pursue the person, the player that I want to be? But honestly, going through those injuries, it makes you realize that you can become stronger with it, I know that's cliche, everybody says that, but that is very true. Like, you learn so much about yourself. I'm glad, I guess, I learned at a young age, being a rookie coming in. Because the quicker you learn about yourself, it makes everything go on a lot easier. So definitely injuries, especially last year, my first year.
Most definitely. And then who has been the toughest defender that you have encountered so far?
Toughest defender I have encountered.
Nana Takora? Nah.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, man. He's tough.
He's a beast, huh?
He's really tough. I've been lucky, I guess, because he's on my team, so I don't really need to go against him as much. But no, let me think. I have a couple, bro. I'm trying to think that are. I would say there's this player named Chris Oduyachim. He plays for DC United. We grew up playing against each other, and this man is super quick. This man is hard to get past, and he's low center of gravity, just like me. Small guy, but at the same time, he catch up to you, shut you down real quick. So he would definitely be one of the toughest defenders. I don't know if he knows that I was gonna say that, but he's definitely one of those players. He went to Maryland University, or University of Maryland, and I went to UVA, so it was, of course, rival
competition.
Yeah, man. But he definitely grown up, like club days back in Bethesda, all that. He was definitely one of the toughest.
Wow. Do you guys still keep in contact?
Every now and then, man. You know how the world just everybody goes their separate ways, does their thing, but you try your best to really stay in touch. And sometimes we'll do that, reach out, whether it's other friends as well. But yeah, man, he's doing his thing, or he's trying to get back into it. You know, he's dealing with some things, but he's, you know, come back stronger. So hopefully everything will work out.
Most definitely. And obviously on the pitch, there's always that player that tries to get you, you know, out of your game. In your opinion, who has been the biggest trash talker on the pitch?
Biggest trash talker. Biggest trash talker that I played with?
Oh, against.
Or against.
Yeah, again. I'm imagining there has to be somebody.
Crazy thing is, I'm gonna tell you this, like, I'm not even a player that like talks trash, so I feel like I never had beef with people because they just thought I was always the nice guy. So, you know what I mean? So there's never been someone that really picked on me, and if it was, I mean, I felt like I just shut them down. Like, you know, let them come in my head. So yeah, I honestly can't pinpoint somebody, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, definitely can't. Dang, it's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. What don't we know about Peter? You know, us the fans, probably something outside of soccer, outside of the soccer world.
Outside of the soccer world. I guess the thing that there's a lot of people that know me, but at the same time, I really take pride in working with, like, I guess the youth, you know.
Okay.
It doesn't even need to be soccer wise, you know, because I know all kids have different aspirations.
Yeah.
That's always been a thing for me because my mom has been like a teacher all her life, you know, taking in kids when they really need help.
Yeah.
And I guess that's always just stuck with me. I've always feel like I have to mentor a kid that's kind of been in my situation, whether it's growing up in a tough household or not saying that was me, but I have some friends that have dealt with that, or just growing up in a rough neighborhood and trying to follow the wrong crew.
Yeah.
I've been through that. So that's always been my thing. Like, I'm taking part in, you know, a couple nonprofits right now, hopefully. You know, Voice Now, which is run by Zach Steffen. He plays in Germany right now. And he's made this, you know, nonprofit of, you know, global, like, athletes, pro athletes or fans, and really just trying to give back to communities of people of color.
Yeah.
To, you know, help these youth, you know, give them resources and opportunities to be successful, you know. I love just taking part into, you know, those type of, you know, projects or just things to really help people. So that's always been my thing.
And then are some of those in Oakland?
Yeah. There's crazy thing is, one of our teammates, his name is Matt Fondy.
Matt Fondy, yeah.
That he's played pro, you know, all over, and he's a guy that I definitely look up to and like follows. And he started a nonprofit called Oakland Genesis, and man, it is the vision that's behind it. You know, he's trying to break the play to protocol. You know, pay to play protocol, which is, you know, you got kids that really can't afford soccer. You know, can't be a part of a team. All that. You know, you got three scenarios. You got the kids that can't afford it. You know, families that got money. You got kids that. The second scenario, which is kind of like me, my parents wrote scholarships or tried to get these scholarships for me to play. And you got the last, you know, scenario where there's kids that can't afford it. And come from different areas, different countries, come over, and just families struggling, you know. So right now he's really started that with a friend of his, and it's really to provide all the resources, pay for them to be able to play with the team, pay for, you know, academic support. And that's right here in Oakland because that's where he's kind of from, you know. And I'm hoping that later down the line I get involved with that. And it's just amazing, man. You know, you give kids opportunity, especially, you know, people of color or just the youth in general, to make them feel that they're wanted, you know.
And they
whether
can.
Family, exactly. You know, whether the family can't pay for it, you got people that care, that want you to succeed in every way. So it's awesome to have a guy like that, you know. That's definitely a thing that I want to take on after soccer.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad, you know, that there's people like you guys, especially right now, you know, with everything that's occurring right now in the United States. But like I said, I'm glad that there's great people like you guys and professional athletes, you know, that are taking your time out of your day to do this for the Oakland community. So thank you so much.
Definitely.
And then Peter, if you could talk to us, you know, about what are your short and long-term goals? Because obviously, if I'm not wrong, you're 24 years old.
Yeah, man. Short-term goals, man. You know, that can change so often. But me really is to be comfortable in the setting that I'm at right now, you know, and become the best version of myself in this moment. Every day is going to present a new challenge, but every day I want to show up with the high energy, the right mindset to come on the pitch every day to be able to be that best player that day, and also so forth, to then be able to play every single game, or just be an asset coming off the bench, so I can, make my name be heard, and etc. And then that pushes for long term to be able, me at 24 right now, to be able to keep playing this game at a high level. I know it's hard to climb that ladder, but I feel like being around Oakland roots and the people that I know, I feel like I can definitely get there. Of course, I always wanted to play overseas, so that's always the ending goal, to play over there. Just have that experience. I've played against teams and I've gone over and trial and stuff like that, but to be able to play a full year, at a high level there would be amazing. And again, long term after soccer, I already told you just before this, just being a part of an organization that really tries to see a bigger vision, than themselves. That's the thing that right now with everything going on needs to happen and to create change. So that's a long-term goal outside of soccer.
For sure. And then if you were to become a professional soccer player, what would have been your profession? Have you ever gave that thought?
All right, so I'll say I've always been in high school thing. Okay, this is the thing that most people don't know about me. I like acting and speaking, public speaking and all that stuff. So never know that I could have took that route of being an entertainer, whether it's within acting in certain things or being a speaker, a motivational speaker. So that's always kind of, been my thing, talking in front of people in public and, really just enjoying that. So I guess. Wait.
For sure. And then, do you remember the first pair of cleats that you ever owned? I know it's probably a long time ago, but do you remember the first pair of cleats that you ever owned?
I have the vision, and I have them still at the crib back home.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what they're called.
Yeah.
Because, of course, I got two older brothers, so those things are just passed down.
Yeah.
But I think they were honestly, like, Ronaldo's they were black Nike cleats, of course. That's so simple to explain. But I think they were in the family of, like, the Vapors, the old original R9, Ronaldo. Yeah, they were there. They were those. I just don't know what the name fully was at the time, but I remember those things, and my eyes grew up, and I still honestly remember that day when I got them for my brother, because of course they're a lot older, but he had them just hidden until I got to a certain age. So it was cool to get that also from brothers that I looked up to, and finally carry, I guess, the legacy on.
Yeah.
So I got them. So I still got them. So hopefully, a little young Pearson comes along so I can hand them.
Of course. And then obviously you signed your first professional contract last year with Tormenta and now with Oakland. But when you started making good money, what did you buy? What was the first purchase when you started making a good amount? Do you remember?
To be honest, I remember. But to be honest, I've always been that person. I know it sounds cliche, but I've never been like a big spender. Okay. Never. Like the way I raised, if I fully explained that, you would understand. Never really bought anything crazy. I've always had a thing for shoes.
Yeah.
Like I would honestly say it was shoes. Like
Jordans.
That's always Jordans, Yeezys, Off-Whites. That's always been my thing. Like I never bought jewelry. Okay, you can see a watch on my wrist, but that is
that's it.
That's about it. But honestly, it was always shoes. That was always like my little. I'll buy myself something nice on the side, but nothing crazy, man. I always put money aside to save up for hopefully later down the year to really invest in assets and etc. So I feel like that's the way to do it,
For sure.
Like, pay the big bucks, which I'm hopefully growing towards that.
Exactly.
That's the whole plan,
For sure. And then what sacrifices has Peter Pearson done to be where you are today? Because obviously, like I said before, we only see you guys on the pitch, you guys train. There's a long story that comes behind each player. But in your case, what sacrifices have you made?
That's good, man. You think about it, soccer players, you got to put a lot of time in, and going to private school and this, top, collegiate schools. I've always had I was always a people person. I was always, cool with certain groups, never just with one group.
Yeah.
But in high school, honestly, man, I literally just focused on soccer. I didn't go partying. So I guess you could say I sacrificed the social life, but at the same time, I was always social.
Yeah.
I just never was let me go out, friend hits you up, come through.
Yeah.
Never really did that. And I was so dedicated. I, of course, played with club team, school team, etc., ODP, But I guess I sacrificed that. I could have maybe had more of a social life, and you never know what could have happened.
Yeah.
Gone bad, could have gone even better. But honestly, the way I'm living right now, I feel like
you're chilling.
I'm satisfied with how it's going, and hopefully keep going through that.
For sure. And obviously, people are still in quarantine, but in this time, what have you been doing? Netflix, FIFA, and then obviously you guys are training.
Yeah, for sure. So for me, never. I kind of went out of the game system, Xbox, and FIFA stuff. Man, that again, like when I was in high school, never fully played, all that stuff because I was always playing. I'd rather just go train.
Yeah.
So this time off, I really have been like taking time for myself and doing my own thing, whether it's staying fit, whether it's ball drills, whether it's being with family. Those are things that truly matter to me instead of playing the video game, which is totally fine if anybody else does that. Definitely try to read more. Right now, I feel like it's the time to educate yourself, especially with everything going on. I feel like that needs to happen, for people to actually know and be able to have an open heart and open mind, so that's definitely what I've been doing, so training, reading, family.
Most definitely. And then what's your favorite music and food? I know you come from a Caribbean family, but you could tell us, what's your favorite type of food and music?
Music? So, of course, not of course, it could change, but I do like hip hop,
Yeah.
More of a slow, soothing, R&B type feel. That's more my,
Yeah.
But food wise, man, I'll tell you, my mom can cook a mean Caribbean stew, beef stew.
Yeah.
That thing is strong.
Fire.
It's fire. But the crazy thing is, my favorite food though, I would say sushi. Other than that.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, man, I'm a big fish guy, and that's, I guess, coming from Caribbean, we just eat a lot of fish, And also me being from Virginia Beach, back, on the water on the East Coast. Also going to private school, you hang out with a lot of predominantly white people.
Yeah.
So it was always sushi, and I ended up falling in love with it. So it's always been my thing. Yeah.
For sure. Do you have a specific artist that you enjoy listening to?
That's good. So, all right, right now I'm trying to think. I got a couple. So, you cool with me saying a couple?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So first, I would say my brother. My brother's a rapper.
Oh wow, okay.
He's a whole lot of things, but he's always wrote music. Tough. It's a tough industry, so he's working his way up. But honestly, he's on the top of the list for sure. But then I have, J. Cole, Drake, St. John. Trying to think.
Nipsey maybe or no?
Oh man, that's Nipsey, bro. It's crazy, he died recently, R.I.P. But I've been listening to his stuff pretty much every other day, bro. Like,
wow.
I like listening to his stuff before he died, but like, when someone passes, you listen to their stuff even more.
Yeah. And
his stuff, like, it's been hitting hard. The Victory Lap and all that. Especially Nana's put game for me. He loves, bro. He's all about Nipsey, Tupac, And I'll be honest, I have been listening to a lot of Nipsey. So Nipsey within this time right now, definitely, because that man is so intelligent and people sleep on him. He was actually one of those first rappers I saw in the interview say, at a young age, I'm going to invest in some assets instead of buying a car. And honestly, that's why I was saying, like, I think I learned that from him and also my family. Like, I don't need to go buy, all these luxury. It's no point, Exactly. You treat yourself, like I said, I treat myself to, a nice pair of shoes. But yeah, man, he was ahead of his game, especially at a young age. So yeah.
Most definitely. And then obviously so far from Tormenta, even at Fresno and right now with Oakland, who has been like your best teammate that you've had? like that one player that you like have a bond with, and you all eat and such things like that.
And it can be from the 2 teams that I've been on so far.
Or whichever, yeah.
Man, that's hard.
You can name a couple players because
I'm gonna do that. So, college, his name is Jake Rosansky. Played club ball, went to UVA with me. He played, he got drafted to Columbus Crew, but ended up taking the European route. Plays in Israel right now, and he's always been, a brother to me, and I still to this day talk to him very often. And then last year, Lars Eckenrode played for Toronto most of his years. And then I met, he's also from Virginia, so it was kind of cool to have another Virginian, with me. And he was my roommate, so this man, we bonded, still bond to this day over everything, music. We rock with Gashi. He's also probably one of my favorite artists as well. But yeah, Lars Eckenrode. And then right now, honestly, I have a good bond with, a couple guys on our team that truly good guys. Like I said, Matt Fondy, Nana Adekora, David Abidor, and Wilfred Williams. Good guys that played pro for many years. So me learning from experienced players have been awesome to be a part of,
Most definitely. And how was it, being born in the United States, but also being Bayesian, like how from 2 different cultures, 2 different backgrounds, like it's completely different. Like how was it, being from the United States and also being from Barbados?
It's cool to have, family from America, and then also, also on the other side, being from Barbados, I get the best of both worlds, It's like a, get a different feel for different cultures, and how they approach things to how, things are approached here, So it's cool to have that, diversity within my family, to learn that and to really just, see that there's a lot of differences, and you got to be accepting to all of them. And that hopefully, allows me to be accepting to everybody else around, that are from different areas. So it's been amazing, especially in my household. We always kind of have that, argument like, dang, Mom, like, why can't you let us be born in Barbados? We have those little arguments every now and then. But it's cool. It's still close to heart, and we still go there whenever we can. Beautiful place as well as U.S., even though the issues that we got going on right now. So,
of course. Which one do you identify with more? From the Bayesian side, or if you could tell us,
Man, it's a battle. Is our mom, like my mom, she's from Barbados. I got a close bond with her, and all of us do, the brothers. But of course, we live most of our life here, so I would say, United States. But definitely don't get it twisted. Like Barbados is in there very strong within us. Like we're a lot of, my brothers were about to take our mom's maiden name, Bayesian name, to put it in our name. So like tells you how close like Barbados still means to us. So we're gonna add that in our name, and just so we have both, because they both raised us, and at the same time we both love them very kind of equally. So very close.
So what's your full name gonna be now?
It's going to be Peter Zachary Jean-Baptiste Pearson.
Ooh, nice.
Jean-Baptiste.
A little spice into that name, huh?
Exactly. Yeah, and instead of just, I love it, Peter Zachary Pearson, but Jean-Baptiste, we've always wanted that when we were younger.
Yeah.
And especially going back to Barbados and Grandma telling us, we're like, oh no, we're putting that back in our name. Or we're putting it in our name.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's cool to have that.
Yeah, well, definitely. And then obviously, talking to you for now, I know that you want to represent Barbados at the international level.
I would love to, man.
If you could talk to us, about the whole process, trying to pursue this beautiful dream of yours. Trying to represent your mother's homeland.
Yeah. No. So that's like what you said. It would be a dream come true. I've had the opportunity at a young age to play, for the national team. For US, younger, of course, the youth teams, you got U14, U16, all that stuff. Had a small chance of doing that, and, it's hard to do that here, to play for the national team. I get that, but at the same time, if there's opportunity that I could do that for Barbados, I would definitely take it in a heartbeat. And that's always been a talk, that's always been talked about, because Barbados could be very good,
A lot of talent.
And a lot of talent is just, money, all that politics that plays within everything in the world, especially in a small little island such as Barbados. So hopefully, that process of just, the thing is me actually like doing it, like everything, of course, busy with training and stuff, but I feel like for me it would be easy if I went there and then went to the embassy and got everything done, So hopefully that time will come, and get that opportunity to be able to train with such good Bayesian players, which I know they are. So yeah, especially that young one that I told you about. So
yeah. Of course. And then has the federation talked to you? Have they reached out to you, to maybe take in time to do the paperwork?
Yeah, no, not really. Last year at Tormenta, our coach had a connection with Barbados, so that's why he was bringing like Asian players over to give them opportunity.
Wow.
And I met one of the coaches. I forgot his name, but one of the coaches that brought the players with him told me, like, of course I was injured at the time, so he didn't really get to see me. But he said, when I get fully healthy, just stay in contact with them. So I have his information, and if I go that route for sure, after hopefully we have a season so they can see everything, see my talent, see my ability, then I'll definitely take that step, So yeah, that'll be dope.
Yeah, for sure. Then obviously you attended Virginia, you played for VCU. How was it, signing your first professional contract with Tormenta FC last year? Like take us through the moment of what was going through your head. Like, I'm pretty sure you might have gone crazy for a bit.
Yeah, man. So it was a tough college experience. Meaning, like, I love my experience as a whole, but with soccer, you have a dream, you have a goal that you try to reach. At UVA, I love the school. I thought it was my dream school, right? Still, part of me still thinks it was my dream school, but at the time, I guess in that moment, soccer things weren't working out. There's a lot of players coming in and out, and it's all about just getting that opportunity and that chance. So it didn't really work out the way I wanted it to. So I made that transfer to VCU, which is also a high level school, not in the ACC like ACC is the top program, people would say. But I went down down south to Richmond, where VCU is at, and it honestly became one of the best experiences soccer-wise. And luckily, I had 2 more years to play and my first year at VCU transferring, trying to get comfortable, new setting, new feel. I played every single game, had opportunities and did really well. And then last year, senior year, I just kind of went off. I was just like, man, all right, I have the confidence that I need. Now, me as a defensive mid, go shine. And I scored 6 goals and had a couple assists, as a defensive mid. And that took off, and I guess I was noticed from other teams. And Tormenta at the time kind of offered right away after college, like after our season ended. I knew it was going to be hard to make the draft and all that, but I had trust in my ability, and also my college coach who had a lot of connections. And Tormenta, answered the call right at that moment, right after the season. Instead of me having to go and do a trial, it was a blessing to be able to just get off first. Yeah. So I was definitely like shocked because I knew I had a tough soccer, college season.
Yeah.
And if you're not playing consistently for 3 years, it's hard. And, I had 2 good years, so it ended up working out, and I just kept being myself, and I was ecstatic, man. Just to finally, you get that stress feeling after your last year. You're like, damn, what's going to happen next, And do I continue with soccer? Do I continue to try to do trials or et cetera? Or do I just hang up the boots and try to, go the, the real life way? Yeah. So, and I got the call, and it was an amazing feeling, man, just to take that weight off your chest and be like, all right, now I can get back to grinding, and have a good year. So.
And then obviously you debut with Tormenta in the U.S. Open Cup against Greenville. You guys unfortunately lost. But you could talk to us, about the professional debut. Like, was it everything that you expected? Like, how was it?
Yeah, man, it was amazing feeling because we played Greenville, and at the time, had a good stadium, good fan base, and it was definitely, I was nervous coming from injury, still having a little bit of the injury. But I was like, no, I'm gonna try to take this moment and just soak it all up, and I did. You know, it was a tough game for sure, but for me to just be able to get that experience and to get on the pitch for my first game, yeah, no one can really take that away from me. You know, of course, I wish the turnout came better, but you know, many more to come. Not debuts, but games. And you know, just kept it pushing after that. Unfortunately, like again, I said, I had the injury, so that kind of kept me out of it. But I'm in Oakland roots, and I had another opportunity to play in such a organization that has such a bright future. You know, whether it's after NISA, you know, USL Championship, or to MLS, hopefully later down the line. So it's cool to be a part of that, and to first have my two games that I played in. I mean, the only two that we had because of COVID. I had two good games, and you know, we tied and won, and it was just an amazing feeling for sure.
And then obviously, you know, that now talking about Oakland, this 2020, you signed with Oakland Roots. How do you like the Bay Area? You know, because I know you were in Georgia, you come from Virginia, but to be honest, I think the Bay Area is completely different from most places. You know, but if you could talk to us about, you know, like how do you like the Bay Area, and what has surprised you about the Bay?
Yeah, man, that's a very good question, man. Guys, I've been saying this to everybody. I've been like, because I've been an East Coast kid my whole life.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had a PDO season in Fresno, but Fresno is a lot different than
it's like the central area.
Exactly, you know, more desert vibe. But out here, man, I came out here and I was like, also with Warriors, you know, the Warriors. You know, I don't really like Warriors. So, you might not like the Bay Area because of the Warriors, but I ended up just loving this area that I'm in. I'm near Lake Merritt again, the Bay Area, and man, just the whole, you know, the whole vibe. Meaning diversity to everybody, I feel like is accepting every person that I've met. You know, you see different browns, different shades of brown, all different colors, and people just connecting with each other on another level has been amazing to see. Because you know, even though I'm from the East Coast and I love it, it's definitely a lot of people don't. It's hard to accept people. It's hard to, you know, create conversation with someone. You know. Here, I think it's just organic. It just naturally happens, and I respect that so much, you know. And I feel like that's why Oakland in itself is different from any city that I've been to. Honestly, like I believe that 100. I can see myself after soccer being in Oakland because of that. So, yeah, man. Well, it's definitely an amazing place to be in, especially at my age.
Of course. Would you like? Would you say that you like the West Coast or the East Coast right now?
God. Man, don't do that.
It's a tough one, no?
Oh man, I will always be an East Coast kid at heart. You feel me? But right now, I won't just say straight West Coast. I'll say Oakland. Oakland. So I'm not gonna say all the West Coast because I know not every city within the West Coast is like Oakland. So. I'm gonna leave it at that.
For sure. And then obviously, you know, so you don't like the Warriors, right?
Nah, man.
What team in the NBA do you support?
All right, so even though I'm from Virginia, Wizards, a lot of Virginians don't really like Washington Wizards. That's not really our team. I'm a Miami Heat fan.
Oh wow, okay.
That's always been my thing. The reason why I always have to explain to people because everybody thinks that I did it because of LeBron and D Wade. Even though I am. Those are my two favorite players. But it was because Alonzo Mourning, you know, he's from my hometown. And he went there and also won a championship there. And, of course, that was around the age, you know, kind of when I was, like, born and kind of grew up just watching him because of my brothers. So, you know, he's a hometown hero, definitely. So, Miami Heat, hopefully we can get back on the rise.
Of course. Then, obviously, you know, you played 2 games right now with Oakland Roots. But we could talk to us about, you know, the atmosphere, you know, going into the game, coming out of the locker room, you know, like playing, a whole bunch of fans. It's crazy, no?
Yeah, for a lower league team that has big aspirations, has been an unbelievable experience right off the bat, you know. Like, the club tries and does their best to do everything right. And be experiencing the first game. Like, I saw, you know, last year, I saw, you know, through media, wow, this team has a very big fan base, right? But me being able to be in the starting 11 or the 18 and seeing at least between, I think, 5,000 to 7,000 fans for a lower league team in a stadium that we have small, it was ecstatic, bro. I was ecstatic. Like, it was such, you can feel the whole energy, come to us. Like, like, I've been with some teams or played in areas that had big fan bases, but this one is different, and it was cool to be able to experience that and to know that the people of Oakland really rock with Oakland roots. They know the game. They really support the players, know the players. So it was cool. So hopefully we can keep that fan base, keep growing, especially hopefully later down the line with creating a stadium, etc. That, man, it's sky's the limit for Oakland roots, hopefully. So
exactly. And who's the shyest and jokester within the Oakland Roots locker room?
The shyest.
Yeah.
The shyest, Jack McInerney.
Oh wow, the forward.
Yeah, he's played some big games in the MLS and etc. So Jack McInerney always in my eyes would be the shyest one. He just doesn't have much to say, which is totally fine. But he's definitely a cool guy. And then you said the jokester. Yeah. The jokester. We have this young kid named Mumbi.
Oh, from DR Congo.
Yeah, like Mumbi. That boy, he's 19. I think he's 19 years old. I think stays out in San Jose, but travels to training. That kid is very funny. Wow. Yeah, got jokes, got so much energy. I remember myself at that age. Man, he got so much energy. It's crazy, but he's a good player, and hopefully big things come for him.
Of course. Who has the best and worst fashion within the locker room?
Shoot, man. The crazy thing is we do worst dress, best dress.
Oh, you do? Wow.
Every week. Of course we can do it now because we're not in the locker room. Yeah. But all right. Worst dressed. His name is Alex Karuba. One of my roommates.
Oh, okay.
And he always gets punished with that.
Yeah.
And then best dress, man. Best dress. I mean, not including myself, but I would say my other roommate, Wilfred Williams. He got some swag. With it.
From Liberia,
Yeah,
Mongolia.
Liberia. He's also from the East Coast too. So he's from Charlotte, North Carolina, I think. Yeah. Well, Liberia, but came over at a young age. So
Of course. Yeah, and then obviously in Oakland, how you mentioned, there's a lot of diversity. Like I was going through the roster. There's Latinos, there's people from Africa. There's yourself was descent from Barbados. If you could talk to us about the diversity that probably unifies you guys as a team, in Oakland.
Yeah, man. Again, I applaud our coach just because he's a black coach, right? Mm-hmm. And he said he's always take pride in having a team that's very diverse. People from all walks of life. Like in life, people of all walks of life connecting together is something strong, and I feel like we have that, just because of everybody, whether it's from Africa or whether it's from, Europe, South America, all of that. Mm-hmm. It makes us that much better, I feel like, just people with different opinions and mindsets to then bring them together and try to make it, all work is it's cool. It's hard, but it is cool to see when it comes together. So that's been awesome to see, and I think that's why people in Oakland rock with us because of that diversity. Just like them, the city's diverse. So, we out for the people as well. So,
of course. Then, if you could tell us about, what are the procedures to go to training? Because with the MLS teams, we've seen, they have to do the test in the nose and everything. But if you could talk to us about, that and also training as well.
Yeah. So, let me think. So, like I said in the very beginning, we have two groups. Mm-hmm. Right? You got two groups. You got 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock. Mm-hmm. So I think it's 7 or 8 people within each group. Yeah. Also, the coaches, they're their own. Yeah. We come in with face masks, of course. We have a tent that we have to go to. It's kind of secluded to the side. Mm-hmm. So the guys that, whether they're before us, they come out on the other side, and the guys that are coming in, we kind of exchange on opposite sides, so we don't, close to each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, we go to the tent, we put hand sanitizer on, they measure our temperature, we do our weight, and just we sign a little paper that says, do we have any of these symptoms? And kind of go from there, walk in. As soon as we drop our stuff, we can take our mask off and then hit the field and get warmed up. Yeah, and then of course do our thing on the field. And then once that's done, that next group, like I said, we kind of walk past each other as one comes in. Yeah. So so we can keep our separation and our social distancing. And then as soon as we leave, we again go through the procedures of hand sanitizer, throw mask back on. They give us a new set of masks, or try to, and get in our car and keep it moving. So that's that whole cycle.
Of course.
Cycle. And hopefully we keep adding more people in as phase whatever goes on. So yeah,
of course. And then obviously, like how we were talking about earlier, maybe 2 more months to maybe see you guys play again at Laney College.
Man, I'm gonna say I guess so. Hopefully, man. We just kind of go with the flow, and hopefully, make sure individually we're all prepared and ready to go. Yeah. But as it looks right now, that's what they're saying. Yeah. Of course, like I said, we have preseason games, so we'll do our own thing. Yeah. But yeah, man. So I wish the season started earlier. Yeah. We get how the league, they have to go through some certain things, so that's behind the scenes that I don't really know about. Yeah. So yeah.
Of course. And then what league would you like to play in? Because you mentioned to us about Europe. Is there like a specific league that you would like to achieve in your career?
Yeah, I of course would love to play at the highest level. Like I've always wanted to play Premier League. Of course that's tough with everything going on right now, and the way I'm going up. Hopefully. But to be honest, I've always wanted to play in outside of every kid's dream to play in the EPL or etc. To play in like Scandinavian countries, Sweden, stuff like that. I feel like a lot of Americans tend to do well within those areas, or whether it's Scandinavian countries or Germany, Americans tend to do well there. So if I can get an opportunity to go whatever Division 2, 3 and work my way up to 1, I have a friend that did that, and it was hard, but his name's Roman Gall, and he had the opportunity to do that, and he plays for Malmo FF, and it's that right there, seeing his growth and trajectory, and how he's gone through USL to pretty much go back to France, try to come back to MLS, and then go to Division 3 in Sweden, and then work his way up and do well Division 2, and then now he's at Malmo, for his old team where he started. That gives me hope that could happen if I just put my head down and grind, and hopefully someone spots my ability, and then I just keep it going from there. So that would be amazing to be able to have that happen.
Most definitely. Do you have a playlist going into game, to get you pumped up, to get you hypey, for a game?
To be honest, I don't have a specific playlist, man. I keep it very simple and calm, of course, with R&B music.
Oh, wow,
but, okay. Yeah, R&B, hip-hop. I'll have it, get hype as we get closer to the games, but nothing specific of, to be honest, I've always wanted to make one. So I'm honestly, with all this time, you mentioning that, I might have to create a specific one for me for games. But yeah, no, nothing specific right now.
Okay, for sure. Then obviously, if you want to play midfielder as professionally right now, what other position would you have wanted to play, at a professional level? Maybe forward, like how you told us?
At a professional level. So realistically, I think defensive mid definitely can be my position. Yeah. Right now, my player is Conte, so, I try to resemble my game off of him, but be myself, of course. Yeah. But a part of me deep down still thinks I could have that forward ability to still go ahead and score. Yeah. I still have that feeling in myself, which that just shows confidence. So if I get that chance to let me be able to run and also hold the ball up, even though I'm small, I can hold it up, and I got a lot of pace. So either that or also right back. I know right back, I've done that, and I heard that could be also a good position at the highest level. So yeah.
Sure. And then who's the fastest player there at Oakland?
Fastest player?
Yeah.
Fastest player. Not including myself. But nah, man, that's tough. We got some quick ones, man. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna just rattle off a couple.
Yeah.
If Nana actually hits his top speed and wants to, I think he could be one of them.
Really?
Yes. I mean, he's a center back, so he doesn't really need to. But I've seen him in the first game that he came in with us. There's a ball that went over the top. Dude, man, the forward kind of went by him, but he caught up to him so quick, and I was like, oh, so if there's a race, he could be up there for sure. Maybe could win. So him, Wilford Williams, Robert, and Julio Cervantes, I think. Tristan Bone.
Tristan Bone, no? The winger.
Yeah, sorry, I totally forgot. He's been injured, but I know I've seen his videos just from him being an MLS player. Yeah. I forgot that man actually has pace. So honestly, it could be Tristan. The top. Yeah. Thinking about it, I know he's dealt with injuries, but I think if he's fully healthy, he definitely will be it.
Well, definitely. Right, Peter. And to finalize the interview, Peter, if you could talk to us, about your thoughts, of what's occurring right now in the United States with the protesting. Like, do you think it's rightful to defund the police? Like, what are your thoughts? As a colored man yourself, if you could take us through what you think has been happening so far.
Yeah. With everything going on, of course, it's like a tough time, right? It's everybody's thoughts, emotions are running high. Mine definitely were, and kind of still are. Yeah. Just me right now with all this time that we're having. I'm educating myself. I see. Again, me being from the East Coast and also from Virginia, which is kind of a historic area of racism, etc. I think with everything going on with defunding the police, in the moment, of course, I'm like, yeah, we should do that. But again, and I'm thinking it's not really smart. Yeah. It's smart, but the way they go about doing it, allocating that money to actual, schools and stuff that actually need it. Take that money, cut it in half from defunding the police and give it to actual, institutions that really need it. That's in my opinion. Because at first, of course, I said defund the police, but I never really had thought. Like I'm just saying it. But in reality, if we do that, then we could get more cops that are not highly, suited for that position. If we do that, so you got to think of it in that way. But at the same time, all that, whether it's splitting, again, I said half the money that they do get, because they do get I don't know I don't know the exact amount. I had it in my head the other time, but there's a lot. So whether it's cutting half of that and then giving it to schools, institutions, all that fully can create change with our youth and help grow it, because right now it's all about us educating the young, the new generation, such as ourselves, we are the voices. We are the people that need to speak up. We are the people that are probably going to be the ones to create this change that needs to happen, and right now for us, I released a video on my Instagram and it touched a lot of people, and whether even on the East Coast, and I made that video of my feelings and everything that I've gone through as a Black male. Yeah. I made that note to everybody for them to see, and it was initially to go out to my private school that I went to. It was a predominantly white school, and the feelings that I had going to that school, coming from a rough neighborhood, and I talked about code switching and how we as Black people or people of color tend to do it more, meaning, when you leave a setting and you have to come into a setting that you're not comfortable with.
Accommodate yourself.
Yeah, exactly. You got to accommodate. You kind of, all right, if you act a way that might seem thuggish or whatever, like, you got to change your demeanor and all that for them to accept you into their group, which it shouldn't have to be, but that's just life and society and how we have been conditioned to think as people of color, even such as yourself, Exactly. And yeah, it was tough, man. And again, this is a thing that I mentioned on my video, is that when I date white girls, I have to ask for permission. I don't have to ask. I do it out of respect, but at the same time, I do it as safety for me. Me dating a white person or a white girl, like, I feel like I do it out of fear, and at the same time, safety for me. And a lot of people were like, wow, I did not understand that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. And the crazy thing is, of course, in that moment, I didn't think like this because of everything going on. It makes me think back to experiences. Yeah. I did it, of course, I remember the feeling of me asking her parents or a white girls' parents, and I was scared to think, what if they say no because I'm black? That's always ran through my mind, you know. So yeah, just with everything going on, I spill these emotions and feelings, and again, me being a black person and person of color, like being vulnerable right now is the perfect time to do it. And for us, we were raised and conditioned to not show emotions, to not be vulnerable. So now I'm taking this time to really feel that I need to do that for people to understand and change, you know? And that's really right now. I'm just having these conversations with people and being straight up and honest, and hopefully they feel empathy and then see, okay, wow, like just because of the color of my skin, you shouldn't downgrade or judge people, you know, just because of that. Like I heard that there's one race, the human race. That's how it needs to be. We're the ones that created racism. So I'm a big believer in that. And hopefully a lot of other people see or wake their eyes up, or hearts, everything, to be able to realize that. So that's definitely my thoughts with everything going on right now.
For sure. Has the Oakland organization talked to you guys about doing anything for you know, like right now, the whole thing about Black Lives Matter, like, have they talked to you guys about anything? Like, have you guys even in the locker room talked about it? You know, like, if they talk.
I think that's the cool thing. Again, being a part of Oakland Roots is they were the first club that I saw like address the issue.
Wow.
Like out of MLS, out of USL, like they were the first club to hit the mark. I'm like, no, we're gonna jump on this because us being quiet, this again is not gonna solve it. It's gonna make people of color even hurt more. So we had Zoom calls, you know, right away about how are we feeling about everything. You know, of course, we as black people and people of color on our team, which is very diverse, even within our front office. Of course, nobody spoke at the time. You know, it was hard. You know, we baby stepped our way into it, and our coach, again, being a person of color, he wanted to have a Zoom call with just the people of color. And I think that was perfect because that's honestly, that was the first time that I seen people that look like me open up and be emotional and be vulnerable. Like it was amazing to see that and to hear their experiences. Like, I know I have some crazy experiences. Some guys even have crazier experiences. And that was honestly, I think, the stepping stone for me to be able to open up and talk about stuff like this with you or with other people. So Oakland Roots, I applaud them, definitely give them much respect, just for taking that stand, because it is tough, you know. You gotta be careful on what you say, especially being our owners are white, but they were very calculated and smart on the way they brought everything to us and wanted to approach it. But yeah, they're taking part in so many things, like whether it's within the office, trying to just reach out to certain communities to help. So whether it's, you know, we've talked about us running a protest, you know, a lot of us did go out with the Warriors and like just were there to be a part of, you know, they really supported us and had, you know, if we did get in trouble, which we weren't, but they would have our backs. So that's all we needed to hear. And it was amazing to hear that, you know, so I definitely applaud them.
Of course. So Peter, obviously, you know, with everything that's going on in the United States for a long time, you know, like right now it's been huge because of what occurred to George Floyd and other killings and murders that have came out to the public, you know. But what do you think could change in the United States? And in my opinion, one thing that could change is maybe how educating your kids at home, because obviously, you know, everything at home your parents teach you, you know, but in your opinion, what do you think could be a huge thing that could change racism, discrimination, and having an open mind, you know? Because obviously being people of color, you have to have an open mind, you know, because how you said, like, sometimes you have to ask permission for your girlfriend because you're in fear, and that's crazy because, you know, when you're in love with somebody, you shouldn't even have to feel fear, you know, like it should be like a normal thing. But in your case, like, what do you think should change?
So first for me, you know, with everything again going on, my whole thought has been people just need to feel a sense of empathy, feel, you know, first, people that don't look like us need to look in the mirror and see, like, with everything going on, like, Am I the problem? You know?
Yeah.
And if you do feel that you're the problem, okay, that's cool. But you now realizing that you're the problem, you need to go have those uncomfortable conversations, as I said before. Like, if you keep being afraid to be able to go up to a person of color or a person that you think is more educated in knowing how to go about things, then it's going to keep going on, you know? And I think that's the step, you know, for you to be able to open your mind and heart to other people that don't look like you and to try to understand their situation. You know, my situation, of course, is going to be different than your situation or another Black person, you know. I grew up in a tough neighborhood. Again, I talked about me leaving my neighborhood, hanging out with, you know, kind of tough crew, to then going to a white private school with people that got money. And, you know, I'm culture shocked. Like, wow, okay, hold up. I gotta act a certain way in this setting, you know, and then going back to my neighborhood and you chill with the homies, and it's just like they come up to you and they're like, why do you talk so white?
Yeah, why you change, you know?
Exactly. And I'm like, oh, but I'm also at 12 and 13 when they're saying this to me, and I'm like, 12 and 13, trying to realize that. I don't think people or white people in general see that code switching. You know, like it happens more with us because if you think about it, we as people of color, of course, try to get out of our setting to put us in a better environment to be able to succeed, whether go to school. You know, you see a lot of Blacks, of course, through their athletic ability to go to private schools or top schools that might be predominantly white to be able to give them a better opportunity. You don't really see that, and vice versa, whether it's a white person going into a Black community and them trying to, you know, figure out a better opportunity. So it's different. And those people, you know, I want to say those people, but white people need to understand that, you know, and just try to understand it. I know it's hard to be put in my shoes or your shoes, but for you to push yourself to try to understand is the first step. And then realizing, wow, then that's wrong. All right, then now you wrap your head around, okay, what ways can I help and help yourself, you know? And it's all conversation. That's how it all starts. You not being afraid. Conversation will open the doors for many, many avenues, you know, through everything that's going on. And that will then go into school systems, you know, such as my private school that I talked to about. We need to create a better space for people of color and opportunity so we can create inclusion, you know, diversity, the way that y'all keep talking about it, but at the same time, it's not happening, you know. And it starts within, you know, the curriculum, you know. Did you know about June 19th?
No, I did not until recently, to be honest.
I'm a Black male. Did not know about June 19th, Juneteenth. At 1865. It's crazy, and I was so frustrated. Like, how the hell am I not knowing about this? And this is a big thing. Like, July 4th? Like, we weren't even free at that time. So how are you saying this is the land of the free at that time?
Exactly.
You know, and I think Juneteenth, 1865, probably should have been the actual land of the free, and that's just in my opinion, which is totally fine if people hate me for that. But I mean, people in Texas, slaves in Texas, they weren't free, so that doesn't mean everybody was free. And that's crazy that I didn't know that, and you didn't know that. A lot of other people of color didn't know that. White people didn't know that. That needs to be in history books, you know. And again, you teaching young people from kindergarten and up at that elementary level needs to happen, because those kids, if you think about it, they don't see color like
nothing
at age. They're innocent. They see, okay, this cool person, I like him, he seems like a cool friend that I can have, and it might be Black. Like, they don't see that until later on you get into middle school and you're around your family, your parents, they see that you're older. That's when racism and, you know, certain situations you see in your life that come out, you know. So I think by teaching that at a young age changes everything. The new generation coming up will see it just needs to be more about just accepting people, and it shouldn't be seen as a color thing, you know, and that all the history that they've learned is not fake, but it's not the real, you know.
Like the reality of what has occurred.
Exactly. Like, we went through slavery for 400 something years, and it's crazy to think that people are like, okay, but y'all are free now, go ahead into the world. No, it don't work like that. There comes a lot of psychological issues because there's 400 years of us playing catch up. Like, we're trying to catch up. Y'all had all this land and all this, etc., to build upon within those years as we were slaves. Like, okay, you just saying, oh, but now you're free. It wasn't too long ago that we were allowed to be able to date or marry black or white, interracial couples.
Yeah.
Like, that was like almost, I think, 50 years ago. Like, so it's not that long, bro.
Yeah, not that long ago.
Like, it's going to take a while for us to catch up. Y'all have a 400-year head start. Exactly, advantage. Yeah. And I think people just need to realize that. I'm not trying to shut down their race or any of that. But again, it's the human race, and we need to be as one. So it's a lot. Yeah. But it needs to start now. So it's good that it is,
Exactly. And like yesterday, I was on my Facebook and I was going through my feed and I click on this video, right? And in Martinez, which is not like 30, 45 minutes, I think, away from Oakland, there was a white couple, and they were literally erasing Black Lives Matter. And in the video, they were like, excuse my language, but they were like, fuck Black lives, all lives matter, And when I listen to ignorant people like this, it really frustrates me, because it's a bigger picture than obviously all lives matter. But if you're ignorant enough to say that right now, it's just outrageous, and these are grown people, so it's just like, what the hell is wrong with society and people,
Yeah, they really think that we're trying to not respect every other, race.
Yeah.
But again, it's I saw something about, on social media or, YouTube talking about, okay, if there is, we have all these diseases, right? Yeah. We have AIDS, HIV, etc., and many more. Mm-hmm. But right now, COVID's the issue. Yeah. Like, it's basically saying, like we're saying COVID lives matter. Like, all the dude that's dealing with this, but then it's, again, forgetting that COVID's happening right now, and you're saying, but all these other diseases matter as well. Yeah. But right now, COVID is the problem. Like,
exactly,
COVID is killing hundreds of thousands of people. Yeah. Like, we're not knocking off, HIV, AIDS, and all these other, Spanish flu, etc. Mm-hmm. But right now, COVID's the problem. And for every other disease that matter, like, we need to accept that this one is also. And that's what's happening with, Black Lives Matter right now. People are not realizing that this is the main thing that's going on right now within our society. Yep. And we need to just show more attention right now to this, to then make it an equal level playing field of all lives matter. Yeah. To the big picture. And it's hard to, you're right. There's a lot of ignorant people, and those are the people that need to educate themselves. Those are the people that need to look. Yeah, bro. It's just opening your heart and your mind to see, like, okay, you can disagree, but you not retaliating and saying, but this. No, man, there's no but. Like,
no but.
You butting is pretty much downgrading what we're trying to teach you, which then means, okay, you're not open to anything.
Nothing.
It's, man, it's tough, bro. And if I would have seen that, I don't even know what I would do. Yeah. Like, would I go up to them and try to have that conversation and not attack them, but try to educate them? Exactly. Or is it going to blow me off and be like, no, Black, all lives matter. Yeah. Like, you're forgetting the point. So, man, sometimes it's hard to have those conversations with certain people that you don't think would open their minds to it. But
and then obviously, it's tough being a minority, as you could say, here in the United States, because from racism to discrimination, from even filling out applications to jobs, and there's a lot more than that, but it's frustrating, but in your case, Peter, why do you think, like going back to, like, obviously the George Floyd situation, why do you think officers take advantage of their role and do these hurtful things to African Americans? Because on the top of my mind, I can remember the American, the white guy who went into the church, killed a bunch of people, and all they did to him was arrest him and did nothing to him, absolutely nothing, but why do you think police officers take advantage of the role and eventually murder and kill innocent people? Like, it's just frustrating. Like, it's not deserving to take someone's life. Like 5 months back, George Floyd was alive, and now he's dead. So, but if you could talk to us about that,
It's hard to, everybody's opinion on that is different, I've talked to my dad, and he says, these people abuse their power. He's a Marine. He's a special security forces. Like, he's at the highest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm asking him, like, why do you think they're doing it? And he, of course, he says his thing out of frustration that these are people that were probably bullied in high school that want to be empowered, et cetera, et cetera. Like, it's hard. It's hard to kind of pinpoint, everybody's thoughts on it.
Yeah.
But, it's the thing that's saddening is that they really do see us as animals as a threat when, like, we don't have anything on us. Yeah. Even if we don't have anything on us. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, I can never answer on why they think we're a threat. I mean, I can go just through history, mm-hmm. and how, our ability and built wise, we seem stronger, et cetera. It's, all that stuff that I've read from the past, and how blacks were perceived, looking more like an animal. So they, mm-hmm. it's upsetting to see that, because we're human beings, and for you to not, treat us like that. Again, I can say it's saddening, but it's just frustrating. It makes you just think, like, are we ever going to see peace and
equality?
It's not happening, mm-hmm. And it's hard for me to see that. I see and believe change will happen, mm-hmm. but there's a lot of things that that has to happen within the law enforcement for that to happen. And now it's to get everybody in the government and everybody on board to really see that. And that's hard, because they're mostly white people that, are possibly racist, but don't see it, And it's hard. I'm not really politically into everything, but, for you to be a human being, I feel like you need to understand and know and feel that empathy. And if you don't, then again, you're the problem. Mm-hmm. So it's tough, man. It's tough.
And then, obviously Barack Obama was a president of the United States a couple years back, but do you think it will have to take, a person of color to reach that high of power to maybe change something here in the United States?
Yeah, I never thought of it like that, to be honest, man. Mm-hmm. I've, of course, in this situation, I've hoped for more people of color to speak out on things,
Yeah.
It's tough. I mean, they do speak out, but, you feel like you're waiting for that one, that Martin Luther King, that Malcolm X, that, there's so many other people, and in my eyes, I don't know if it's fully happened like that. I know Barack's talked and said his words, but yeah, I haven't thought of it in that way. I hope it doesn't have to take a person of color for that to happen. No. If it takes a person that doesn't look like us, I think that makes it even better, because that means, okay, they're white, they see that it needs to happen, let me be the person that can do it. Exactly. And then that gives you more hope, mm-hmm. Because if you, in my eyes, see you need to pull out another person of color, as a president, which that'd be amazing. I would love to see that, but it's then making you think, okay, it's us versus them thing again, and that's what we're trying to get past.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a good question, man. I've never even thought of it like that, mm-hmm. but hopefully not. Yeah. But I would love to see someone of color in presidency. So, we'll just, if they have a good heart and an open mind, mm-hmm. I'm all for it, and have good values to help people create change and create opportunity, then I'm all for it. And I see this issue as a problem. So hopefully we have that. Yeah. I don't know about this next election, but we'll see. Fingers crossed, man.
Exactly. And then what are your thoughts, on like people breaking these statues, that are quote unquote meaningful, to the United States for such and such reason, but obviously seeing these things, and I'm imagining you've seen them as well. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Again, I'm from Virginia, mm-hmm. so I don't know if you've probably seen on social media, most of the statues, and there's a lot within, the United States, but Richmond being the capital of Confederacy, mm-hmm. Has, that's where my college was, and there was a street called Monument Ave, and it was pretty much of all Confederate statues. Wow. And a lot of them are trying to get removed, and Stonewall Jackson, I think, just got removed, which is a big time thing. Yeah. I'm a big proponent on that. that was in the past, and I get respect your past, but at the same time, these individuals were doing it for the wrong reasons in my eyes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to put people. And there's also, I know African Americans that did it for the right reason or tried to create change for the right reason, and I know there's also white people back then that, you know, try to create change for the right reason. So I feel like those people need to be more valued and put up instead of people that were against people of color that, you know, put them in situations for them to not succeed, you know. And I'm a component of them being removed, and that's just me. There's no bigger explanation on that. If they weren't rocking with us, then I think you should move them.
Exactly.
We're supposed to be one race, and if they're against this one, then you're not rocking with us, so it should be moved. You know, it's a new time, so hopefully that'll happen.
And then obviously being a professional soccer player, like, and obviously having like a big platform, have you thought of doing anything? Like, I know you mentioned to us before that they did the emotional video on your Instagram, but like maybe you and your other teammates that are of color, have you guys thought of maybe doing something, you know?
Yeah, so, okay, going back to very early on in our interview, I can explain it more. Mm-hmm. I joined a nonprofit by Zach Stefan again, called Voice Now, VOYCE now. And it's really for us, it's a bunch of professional, you know, athletes around the world and fans, you know, kind of being a part of this movement, you know, athletes for change. And it's really kind of what you're just saying, like, have we as athletes try to use this platform. So with Voice Now, we're creating that platform and giving athletes and fans a platform for us to say our experiences, like I did in my video, to, you know, another person's experience. And again, our whole goal was, again, to raise $1 million to give money back to Black youth or people of color, you know, youth, to help give them this money within certain nonprofits or communities or boys and girls clubs to create opportunity for them to see that they're worthy, that, you know, there are opportunities for them to be able to create an equal level playing field for them, you know, because it's not an equal level playing field.
Yeah.
Facts. So again, yeah, we are. Whether it's my team, some guys are a part of it, some aren't, but they're doing their own thing, trying to create change in the way they see fit. Yeah. But honestly, being a part of Voice Now and Oakland Genesis has been amazing because they're trying to, you know, make that next move and create that movement of use this platform. We have so many people that follow us and look up to us and et cetera, that respect us, use it. And kind of like what you're doing right now, you're using your YouTube and all that to be able to have this conversation and use it to then open probably just one person's eye, you know? That's how it changes. One person, then it can lead to 2 and 5 and 10 and hopefully 100 and many more. So, yeah, man, hopefully we can keep using that platform and many more.
Yeah, of course. Then obviously being, you know, an African American in the States, what do you think, like, should happen, you know? Like, what do you think should happen and occur for like at least like the officers, you know, to not think negative, you know, just because you see a person of color, you know, don't think that they have a gun, don't think that they have a weapon, you know. You can't judge a book by its cover, you know. Like, what do you think should happen within the police enforcement to possibly take different things and different steps to going into arresting somebody, you know? Because obviously, like there's been many deaths of thinking, oh, we thought he had this, but now he's dead, you know? So that can't change.
That's a hard question because, again, people have different perspectives. And mine, I saw something recently. Of course, social media is educating us, you know, right now. I saw that, you know, other European nations or European countries talking about how their police system may take 4 to 6 years for police officers to become actual, you know, and then, you know, other countries have maybe 3 years, or other countries maybe have more. And then you have the United States, which is like 12 weeks, and they can become a high up officer. And it's just like, all right, something's not adding up. If they're doing years and we're doing
months,
like that's a problem. And then also it shows the death rates. Like, there's less death rates with people that had more years of preparing to be a police officer to us, which has been less. And that right there, I think, needs to go within their institution and try to figure out, all right, we need to make it a more prevalent job, meaning a more important, which means they need more credentials, they need more hours, more time to show that they are meant for this job. And of course, within it, like school, you create certain spaces for them to learn and teach. All right, you need to not, off of the color of their skin, you need to not do this. So it's creating those spaces within those institutions as well, and teaching those officers, because teaching don't stop until teaching, you keep learning every single day. It shouldn't just mean, okay, they do the 12 weeks and they're done, and they can keep, they're officers and they don't need to learn anymore. No, it's an ongoing cycle. Life changes, you learn so much more, and I feel like they need to keep learning. Like that's what needs to happen. And so add more years for them to then make it a more, more, what's the right word?
To become a better officer then.
Yeah, I mean, they need to make a more upskilled job. Like, just be more time to spend instead of just a couple of weeks. So yeah, there's probably many more in my head that I'm trying to pull out, but I would say it could start there, so.
And then are you obviously like when you leave your apartment, or when you go shopping and things like that, are you in fear of your life?
Always, man. I said that with no hesitation, because that is serious, man. Like, it's hard, bro. It's, I get nervous driving. I get real nervous driving, and I took a class in college about police brutality within Alex Ferguson. Everything that happened in the past, like, and how there's so many cases with people driving and getting pulled over that were black, and that's like the number one thing I get scared of driving. I make sure I'm doing the speed limit, to everything else, so I don't give them any reason for them to pull me over, etc., or be suspicious. Like, that's the number one, and then also, I've never told many people this, but George Floyd, of course, sickening thing that happened, but before that was Ahmaud Arbery, and that was the case that hit me harder, because I'm a black male that does jog in a white neighborhood very often, and I'm thinking, like, wow, just think of if that was me, even though I'm known in my hometown and I do that, that don't matter. It could be one person that don't know me, and then take a chance of pulling the trigger, calling the cops on me, and putting myself in a difficult position. And then me thinking, wow, I'm leaving a world that I wasn't doing anything, but this happens just off of the way I look, and that's saddening to see, because that literally is me, and I know a lot of people will say the same. So I think that one hit me harder, even though I know George Floyd was calling for his mother and etc., but that one hit me harder because I truly saw myself in that situation. But yeah, man.
Crazy, man. It's crazy how everything has happened, because I'm pretty sure no one expected for this 2020 from Kobe dying, from COVID-19.
Bro, this 2020 has been hard. Like, a part of me in my head is just like, man, let 2020 be done. Like, hopefully 2021, which again will have the president, hopefully, just new things to come, but again, we're halfway there in 2020, and I'm hoping COVID don't kick in. People be smart and not ignorant to wearing masks and really following the right steps, as well as all this Black Lives Matter movement again, so.
And have you yourself attended the protests in Oakland? Like I remember listening about the protests in Oakland. Like, did you attend?
Yeah, I attended. I had to.
How was it?
It was amazing, bro. Think about it. Have you? I don't think us as young, like, we haven't been a part of this type of movement.
No, never.
And before we were young, we were really young, like, as that Black Lives Matter happened. But it's crazy to see, because it's apparently one of the largest, or is the largest, civil rights movement ever.
Wow, yeah.
Like, I had to be a part of that, and I had to, see what Oakland was truly about, and that again makes me respect it so much more, because a lot of white people involved. You know, a lot of them are speaking up, not afraid, which is cool because
it's nice.
Yeah, nice. That means, you know, there could be change. There's hope.
Slightly
you know,
but surely.
Slightly but surely. That's the right way to put it. But no, it was amazing to be a part of that, man. A lot of walking, but shoot, I see what in the past, man, they went through trying to, you know, fight for what needs to happen, you know. But yeah, hopefully many more to come. Well, not to come, but if it is, definitely it's for the right reason, you know.
And obviously with everything that happening, do you think the police officers, the government, do you think that the minorities, that like their voices are being heard, like from protesting, from obviously looting is not the correct way to go about it, but do you think that our voices are being heard?
I think they are. Not trying to, didn't mean to hesitate. I think we are being heard, but you know, there's still certain cities, towns, states, whatever, that are probably ignoring still. You know, whether it's the higher people up in office within their state or city council. Like, you know, I've seen, of course, videos. I know everybody's watching videos on YouTube and Instagram and all that, you know. And you see some that are just not having it. And then you see some that are all supportive of it and do remove the statues, do allow people to speak and have their, you know. But I think our voices are to be heard. And I think they're accepting that one way or another, you know. And again, it's cool to see and have platforms that we have in social media to this day to use to have our voice, whether it's we can get it out, you know, in public. You know, we can do it through these type of settings, you know. So it's cool to have that and to really be vocal about it.
Yeah. And then obviously, have you suffered racism yourself? And if you have, how have you gone about it, you know, by being African American?
Yeah. Crazy thing is, I've never fully had a straight moment where like, someone was like, you know, you N-word. But luckily, I was never in those type of situations. Luckily, you know, the only time I've had racism, really, I guess you could say, is whether it's through dating, you know, white girls and their parents or grandparents said they can't date me because I'm black, or they don't say it, but it is that. To, you know, being on the soccer field and being called N-word, you know, or, you know, my brothers, of course, were born in the 80s, so, like, you know, they had more situations that they went through that were worse than mine, you know. You know, so, again, I guess I'm fortunate that I didn't have one of those pulled over by cop situations to where I was scared, racial profile. So I'm blessed to not have those moments. And hopefully I keep not having those moments and it gets better over time. But yeah, man. Have you?
I have.
Thanks, man. See.
Multiple times, and when I was like a couple years back, I remember I was going to work, and we obviously had to turn left, and obviously there were cars coming, so we couldn't turn left, you know. And once we eventually did turn left, this white guy, who I guess was frustrated for some odd reason, he rolled down his window and literally said, "Go back to your fucking country. You don't deserve to be here." Literally, because we were turning left, you know, and I was going to work, and this guy, I don't know what was going wrong with him, but that he literally told me to go back to my country. First of all, I'm born in the United States. You know,
but they don't.
I'm born in the United States.
People don't. They don't think, man. They don't think. Like, we're just because.
Can you believe that, man?
I could just laugh because
it's stupidity.
They're exactly. I was about to say ignorance and stupidity. Like, they really don't. Like,
they don't
think.
Process nothing.
They don't like. Bro, I could just laugh. I'm sorry.
No, I know. It's
situation, but that dude and more people that are like.
Yeah. And then also being called Mexican, you know, just because I'm brown. Like, there's other countries other than Mexico, you know. Like, if you learn in school, you will learn that just because I'm brown doesn't mean I come from Mexico. Just because I speak Spanish doesn't mean I'm from Mexico, you know.
Oh, for sure. And bro, that happens so often, which I know some people don't mean it, which is okay, but there's some people that straight up mean it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some honest mistakes that people say, but then, like you said, this person probably like, we're gonna go back to Mexico. Like, fool, I wasn't even from there. I'm from here, and then also my family's from Guatemala. Like, like come on. So yeah, man. To be honest, you just take it and laugh. You just laugh at them, and then hopefully they realize that they're stupid, you know, and ignorant within those situations. But
and like even with my friends, because my closest friends are Latino, and one of them is African American as well, and we've even talked about it, you know, like what would happen if we encountered like racism right now. And to be honest, like me personally, I get really, really frustrated when it comes to discriminating someone or just being in a racist environment. You know, like I take it to heart. But, like we've even discussed about it, and like if I were to ever encounter it, I would like for it not to get the best of you. You know, because when they get the best of us, that's a victory to them. You know.
Yeah, bro. So that's what I'm saying. Like in those moments, like with that person telling you go back to where you know, that's why you just laugh, bro. Like because they really think they're gonna get something out of it. Yeah. I mean, like you getting mad at them. So that's why, like, my family, my parents, again, also I've never said this. Even though my mom's from Barbados, she's mixed. She's white and black. Oh wow. Her father's from Norway. Like, wow. It's so, it's. She didn't teach us that way, you know. Yeah. She taught us, okay, these people that say like that, they have nothing better to say, so let them say that. Yeah. You know, I know you can get frustrated if they say the N-word, but at the same time, don't even give them that
attention, the time of day.
Because if you think about it, you're going to lose the battle regardless. If you do react or retaliate, they're going to call the police. Who do you think the police are going to want to? Boom. Yeah. Of course, the black person. Because society is stacked against you like that. Yeah. So it makes you a stronger person. And again, like maybe that's probably why, like when I said I haven't really had situations like that, this maybe happened, and I haven't done anything because there's no point. I'll address them in a conversation way, you know, and they're just like they're still saying it because they don't know what the heck to say. Like what else to say? Which shows again they're ignorant. They don't know how to have a full-on conversation about it. But yeah, bro, you just laugh at them. You just laugh at them, keep it moving, and then they'll catch that one person that will probably knock them out cold. And
land on world star.
But that's so just laugh at these people.
Peter, but was there something else that you wanted to touch?
Let me think. No, man. I think we did a really good job of having this conversation and clearing it up. Whether it's just for us to, you know, clear it up, you know. You hear my experience, I hear your experience. But again, it just starts and stems from us, like I said before, like I'll end it on this, just having the conversation. Just have it, bro. You know, if you don't, then you will never know. You know, you will never know, and you can never then be able to speak up for the people that you might have as your friend that are of color. And you'll get a lot of respect from them, people of color, and you'll feel something in your heart and your mind and all that just open up another way of how life should be, you know. And I'm gonna just end it on that, man. Just be open-minded and open-hearted, for people to be able to be their true selves, you know. Yeah, just that for sure.
Well, thank you so much, Peter. You know, for your thoughts on these crazy situations. You know, obviously it's not about soccer, but I'm glad we really could touch base with these different topics that to some people it's hard to listen to, you know, but to some people like us, it's not new and it's never been new, you know, because it's been occurring and happening for thousands, you know, for a long time, and I'm glad that the protests have been occurring, you know, because the voices are actually being heard at this point, you know. So thank you so much.
No, for sure, man. Again, appreciate you having this conversation, man. It's tough, but glad we did it. Definitely, man. Thanks again for having me. Honestly, I appreciate what you're doing, you know, creating this platform to really speak about issues and also just people's experiences with soccer and life. but yeah, going back to what you were saying, man, I hope change does come. I think this is the perfect time for us to be able to come together, for people to educate themselves, you know, whether it's people that look like us or don't, you know. I definitely need to say, though, that people that don't look like us, like if y'all keep being afraid to speak out and have these uncomfortable conversations, then we as blacks and we as people of color are still going to be scared to speak, you know, still be afraid. And, you know, your silence definitely will you know, hurt us even more. So hopefully people can speak up for us. And at the same time, we as colored people keep being strong and finding our true voice. But again, I'm a big supporter, so definitely be following your channel and, you know, hopefully it keeps going through. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Watching my video. If you guys could share it with your family members and friends, that would be much appreciated. To all the people around the world who watch my videos, thank you so much. If you could like and subscribe to my channel, I would love that a lot. Until next time, thank you.